Assalamu alaikum. Today we will talk about how to set up a private certificate authority service, which is generally used for many lab projects or for testing purpose. Or if you want to set up any infrastructure at the local level or for any organization, then you can use the private certificate authority to ensure that the communications are open, are secured. Or you can also test the secure channel communications capability. So before we proceed with discussing that how to set up the CA service, we can have a look at the basically the components or the entities which are involved in the secure communication channel or the secure communications. So if we look, there are basically three entities involved in the secure communications, securing the communications. First of all is the service. If we take the example of HTTPS service, which is used to securely browse the websites over internet. And the second entity is the client. The client is basically who want to access the services, a web application or the web service from the server, basically. So the overall objective is that client should be sure that whatever the communications or whatever the data it is retrieving from the server, it is secure, and it has to also make sure that the information that it is getting is from the right or correct server. I mean, it should not be a bogus or fake server from where the information is being retrieved. For this purpose, there's a third entity, which is the CA server, Certification Authority Service, which basically runs the certification services, which are used to generate the basically the digital certificates. So basically, the CA server generates the digital certificates to server, which would be HTTPS server or anything else, other services. These digital certificates are presented to client when it try to access the any service. So if you look at the process, that how the digital certification process is automatically managed. So basically, this process, there is a certain actions, sequence of actions, which takes place between the client, between the web server or the server where the application is hosted, and the CS server. In order to explain the process of automatic certificate management, we consider the a web server and a CS server. So what happens? The CS server sends a request to the CA server, which then, upon receiving this request, the CS server requests some information, which is a kind of a challenge that the web service server needs to prove its identity and its validity. So it generates some challenge, which could be in the form of configuring a specific DNS or basically presenting some specific page that is required. So once the web server provides this information or fulfills the requirements, then CA server validates the response from the web service server. If the provided information is correct and all the requirements are met, then CA server issues the digital certificate to the web server. After issuance of this process, then there could be some activities like renewal of the certificate or the revocation of the certificate, which is managed by the CA server. So after looking at that, how the digital certificates are issued to web server or the different application servers, we now look at the sequence of steps which takes place between the client and the web server to secure the communications. So in this case, the user PC, which is client, usually runs the browser, or there could be another agent which can which requires to establish the secure communications. So what happens? The client browser or the client application sends the HTTPS request to the server or to the web server, which then presents its digital certificate to the client. When client receives this certificate, it verifies it and checks whether it is installed in its basically trusted store. So once it is stored there and it is a valid certificate, then it encrypts the session information. I mean the information, the session information that then it encrypts the session information with the public key of the web server. Once this encrypted information is received at the web server, it decrypts the decrypts the session information with the private key of the server. I mean, the digital certificate that has the same private key. So once server is able to decrypt the information, session information, it then establishes the secure communication channel between the client and server. We have discussed the digital certificates and the sequence of steps which are used to issue the certificate by the certificate authority server, and then to establish the secure communication channel between the client and web server. So now we look at how to configure the private CA server so that we can use it for our test purpose or for our own project, which is basically under development. Usually, the private CA services is configured for the testing environment. So let's we talk about what are the different packages and are required to be installed, and what are the things required to be done. What are the processes and the steps that needs to be followed. Before going to the configuration process, I would like to highlight that I have Ubuntu Linux operating system running on a machine, and it is a newly installed operating system. Currently, there are no much other packages running except the one of the web service that we use to test the CS certificate authority. So, uh, regarding the packages that we need to install and configure, there are two packages required. One is the Step CA package, which is provided by the Small Step organization, and the second one is the Step CLI. Step CA is basically provides the CA service. I mean, all the processes which are required to function the certificate authority service. And the CLI is used to uh, basically manage the certificates and its validation web server, or the CA. Now we talk about how to get these packages or how to install this one. Okay, we are now on our server, our Ubuntu machine, uh, and we will download the packages that we discussed before, and then we will configure it on this machine. In order to download the packages and configure them, it is recommended that you update the repositories, I mean the software sources, and so that we have the latest information at the resources available. It is also recommended to upgrade to see if there is any critical update available, and perform the upgradation process also. As we see here, some critical updates are available. So these are also installed. Now, after updating the software repositories and upgrading the system, we need to install another utility, which is wget, that is used to fetch the packages from the internet. Let's check. Let's install this package with wget with the apt command. It's very simple. You can just type this apt hyphen by and then install wget. Most probably this is already installed, so we just check that in case it is not there, it will be installed. Otherwise, it will just report that the package is already updated. So that's the same thing. The package was already installed and it is already updated. So after installing this wget utility, we need to make basically a directory which will be used to download the our packages for the CA package and the CLI package. For this purpose, you can either make a directory named the CA sources or the CA packages. I think it's better I use the CA packages, and then we move to this directory and we download the packages. In order to download the packages, we need to use the wget utility, uh, which is basically we have already installed. For this purpose, the URL is given in the description. Also you can note it down from here. So just copy paste the URL and download the package C package from the internet source. So if you see here, I have copied this the URL for the step CA package, which is for the AMD64 operating system. This will be just downloaded, and let's see, it will take some time. But it's quite quick, and once it is downloaded, it will be stored into the current directory. We can just check whether the file is correctly available. So this is already the step CA this CMD. Now because we need another package which is the step CLI package. The URL for the same is already given in the description. You can just copy it from there and just use the wget utility to download this package. The process is very simple and it will be downloaded. So once it is downloaded, let's wait for the completion. That's 49, 56, 64%. So it is now completed. We can check the existence of both of these packages. Both packages are there. So we can install one by one each of this package. To install these packages, we need to use the bpkg tool with the I switch and just mention the package that we need to install. The process is very quick and it is quickly installed because it is already downloaded. So now this package step CS package is installed, and we will configure it later on. The second package that we downloaded, we will also install it now, just here with the dpkg command. That's fine. So both of these packages are installed, and we can further configure the CA package for the further process. Now, after installing the packages, we need to initialize the CA service. For this purpose, we use the step CA init command. So let's do that and how to initialize it. So here we need to just the command that will be used. The command that will be used to initialize the CA package is the step CA init, and there will be three configuration options that you can choose based on your requirements. For our purpose, we need to configure a standalone step CA service. So that will be used in the private environment. You can use also linked mode in which you need a digital certificate, which is signed by the public certificate authority. And you can also, if you want to simplify the further process, you can use use a hosted version which provides some simplification processes and monitoring etc. So we will select the standalone option, which is the first one. And now, once the standalone mode is selected, we need to specify the name of the server. The name of server could be anything, but we will use here CA underscore Olivik, which is just a name that we are using for this subservice. So after providing the name, it needs to ask the specific URL or the IP address where this CA service will point to. Well, we have a domain name which is ca.polemic.com, where this service will be even running. So just enter the URL where the specific CA will be running. Once this is configured, we need to provide the port number, and we use the 8443 because the port 443 is used for HTTPS, and it is already used by in some of our other environment for other purpose. So we use the 8443. In order for communications to take place externally, we need to configure some redirection, which will be required. Anyhow, you can also configure some other port if there is any reservation, for example, from your organizations or from the network point of view. So once this is configured, we need to, it will ask you to provide the first CA provisioner. CA provisioner is basically which manages the process which is specified in the digital certificate that who has issued the certificate. So I will have here put just you can put your email address or anything else, but I will put here the email address of the admin, which is the admin at oleric.com. So that should be no problem. So we just insert .com. So once this is entered, we need to specify the password, the secret password, which is used to we use for the certificate creation and management, or for the authentication process. So you can skip the to provide the password here, and then check the configuration files. You can find it there. Otherwise, just provide the password. So I will just configure it here, my own password. So let's type the password. Please make sure that do not use any spaces or the special symbols in terms of commas and something like that one. Otherwise, whatever the alphabets you use, it will be the okay. So I just type the password, and once this password is provided, the package will generate some certain files. For example, it will generate the root certificate and intermediate certificate, and then it will also specify where these certificates and the configuration files are stored. So this is all about the initialization. Our initialization is completed. So after the initialization, we just need to add another provisioner that manages the automatically the certificate management processes. For this purpose, we will add a new provisioner called ACMB. Uh, there is a command for provisioner add that we can use, which is provided by the step package. So we can just type this command. Any name you can name it as you like, and its type will be ACMB. Sorry, there was the add missing. So we just we need to add before the after the provisioner. So that's fine. Add, okay. So now this provisioner with the name of ACME and type automatic ACME is configured. So that's the process of initialization and the adding a provisioner to the service. And that's all from the initialization point of view. Now, after initializing the CA package and the CA configurations, we'll now basically create a service unit to manage the certificate management process easily. And now, after initializing the step CA package, we will create a service unit for it, and that will automatically run once the system is started. So, for this purpose, we will first add a user, which is basically the step user, and this it will be set as a system, and the home path will be set to a new directory under this etc folder, and shell will be set to false. So let's create this user, and now we create the directory for the home path that we have specified. So it is c step directory.ca. So once this when this folder is created, we will copy the contents of the original from the original installation of the step path to the our newly created destination. For this purpose, we'll copy these. We'll get the information from the path information from the step path command, and copy all the files to the newly created folder, which is the home for the step user. So once it is done, we'll just verify the contents of this file, whether the all the contents have been moved correctly. So ls etc step ca, and all the contents source config db secrets is there. And now we need to also create the password file. We remember that we have created the we set the password previously as a NEWKIERN. So just I will output it to the password.txt in the etc step ca folder. Sorry, I think the redirection pipe was missing, so I'll just update it, the command. So that's all. The content of the new current password has been saved into the file. We can see the contents of the password file, whether it is correct or not. So that's the password. Sorry, step CA password.txt. So we can see that the whatever password we specify, it is already there. Now the we need to create the okay, before doing this one, we need to change the ownership of all the files that are in the step folder. Means the user who is the owner should be the step. So I will just recursively change the ownership for all the containers under the step CA. So once it's done, then we will proceed with the creating the service unit file. This service unit file will be basically created into the etc systemd/system, and then we'll name it as a step ca.service. So we'll just create with the touch command. It will create a empty file, and okay, step ca.service. Now this is entered. The path is correct. So we'll just execute this command. Once this command is executed, we can go to our favorite text editor and add the different contents like the unit description and the service details and its settings. So if you go to the system D directory and then into the system, we'll see that our amplifier is already created into the step CA. So in here, it is empty. So I'll just enter the unit description first. It should remember that the U should be the capital. And there's a couple of details that we can add into the under this section. I will just copy paste from these commands from my text editor. You can also get these details from the link that I have given in the description. So in this basically, if we see that there's a description that is a step CA service, and documentation details after, I mean, when the service should be started, and after what are the targets that required. Also, the password information and the configuration information is also provided. If these files are not there, then it will execute, it will report the error. Next to this one, we need to create the service section. In the service section, we will specify the different parameters which are required for the service. For example, this will contain the which user will run the service, who is the group, and what are the different details. For example, the configuration files and when it should be installed. So if you see these details are there, and in this one, if you see, we have specified the basically the type of the service, user, group, environment, execution start, which script should be executed, and a couple of other details. And we will add another section which is install, and we'll set the target which is required by wanted by multi-user dot target. So this is the I mean all the settings that we need to specify in the service file. I will just save it, and next to this one we have to find the we have to configure the files that we copied from the original step installation. I mean, because we have copied all the files into the step folder, so I will just go to the our new home directory that was created for the step user. So let's find the etc step CA, and in the configurations files, there are two files, CA and defaults JSON. Here, if you see the root has old path. We need to change it to the new path, which was the etc slash step CA. I will change it once, and then we will search and replace in the all other parts of the file, and we have to do this process in the ca.json also, and the false JSON also. So let's just do this one. I use the control plus H and search for the slash root slash step path, and change it to the sorry, this has to go to into the replace. So we'll copy the this root step slash step. I will just find and replace it in all the parts. So that's the, I think that's a search all the way where it is existing. So it will be changed all the way. So now it's the same in the defaults.json also. I will just find and replace it. So after configuring the service unit, we will just restart the step CA service. We need to enable it. First of all, we will reload the system daemon because all the service units have been changed. So we need to reload the system daemon. So the new services are available for to be enabled or to be restarted or started. So once this is done, we can now start the service, and we will first we will basically enable the service that we created, step CA dot service, and the now switch shows that it will be enabled now. We can now just restart the service basically with the systemctl command. Before we can also check the status. So this is already running, and its status is showing to be running. Now I will just restart this service. So that we make sure that everything is working, whatever we have changed or whatever we have configured. So step CA, just restart this one. So that's the, and we can again check the status. So this is again running fine, and there is no issue basically reported by the service. So Now, after configuring the service unit and specifying different details, we need to basically create the digital certificates for the services for the server that will be that servers will use to present to the clients. So let's see how this will work. First of all, what we need to change is the step path. If I go there, the original path was root.step, but we need to add a new variable to the system, which is the step path, and we direct it to the our newly created directory that was step CA. We can also, add these details into the basically our bash file also. So for this purpose, I will just open the bash file with the VI editor. You can use any other editor that you like here, and the bash RC. And at the end, we will just add the command for to export the new path variable. So what I will do here, I will just write the same command that we executed in the CLI. Just let's do it. Okay, export and export the step path information of the step path. So step path should be the capital. Sorry, export and step path. I will set the path to the new directory that we have created already. So by this way, whenever we do not need to specify every time we log in or change the user. So let's just save it, and we exit from this VI editor, and then we will see that now it's saved. So I will just check the step path. It will be the new, and let's test by logging out from the user, and I go back to the root user, and here just giving the password. And if the step path, it is the same as we have already configured. So this is the default. This will be automatically exported when the bash RC file is executed. So now, after setting up the path, exporting the path variable, we'll just create the digital certificates for the service. For this purpose, we will first bootstrap the CA service. Okay, I will copy the for a command here. Step CA bootstrap command is used. First, we need to provide the CA URL, which is ca.olivik.com, and we know it was running on port 443. Then the fingerprint value we have to specify when we are creating manually certificates. We can copy this one from the our configuration files that was in the step CA configuration files. So just go there and find it in the, if you see the default.json, the fingerprint value is given there. So we just copy from here and paste it into the CLI. So that's all. It will install the root certificate into the system that can be used. So I will just execute this command by hitting enter, and it will ask some information because we already have some root certificate already there created. So just override those information. Next to this one, we need to basically restart the service, the step CA service, because we have just bootstrapped it with the new subject. So once this is done, now it's the time to create the certificate. We'll first create a token for our subject, which is the ctl.olivik.com. So just let me write it down, olivik.com. So that will be it will create a token, and it will be saved into the token variable, and we will use it later on. For when we execute this token command, and then it will give you option that which provisioner you want to use. Administrative admin only is the one that we created, and ACME was one we also created. Once we enter, it will ask for the password, and we just entered, and the token is now created. Now we can basically create the certificate. We'll take the token as it is, but we'll change the subject name, which is basically the ctl.olivic.com. So we'll just change this one. Okay, let me just change the olivic.com subject name, and it will be the digital certificates will be created and the path will be shown there. So that's the all information that we have created the digital certificates, which can be used by other things. So we can also check the connectivity to our CA server and the controller server by using the ping commands. Okay, we configured the CS service, and we also created the digital certificates for our control.olivic.com server. And now we'll configure the client. For this purpose, we need to go to our particular, the client. And if you see, we have already configured the ctl.olivic.com. There is an API running on this one. And if you see, it is currently showing the connection is not secure. And if we remove this exception, it will give us this warning. So for this purpose, we need to import the root certificate of our CA, and then trust that root service. I think it should be in privacy and security. Let's just go to the view certificates, and here we will import the certificate, root certificate. So let me just go to the original path, etc step CA, where the root digital certificate was stored. So if I just go here into step CA, so there is step CA, just want to come back to this one. Step CA and certificates. Okay, this part is owned by the step owner. So I will just change the ownership. You can also copy the files to your other directory so that you can import. Otherwise, I'm just changing here the permissions for the folder so that any user can access the root folder. This is the certificate path. So to change the permissions, I will use the chmod, and I will change the old files in the cert. So that's the change, and I will go back to the import to the client, and we'll just start trusting it the root certificate.crt cert, and this is cert identify websites. And we can also see the certificate. This is the same information that we entered when configuring this certificate. So by this way, once this is imported and we just refresh the folder, so the communication is now secure. And we can also see the verified by the CA service. So that's all.